Good evening, everyone. We're sitting here for the November 13th meeting of the Athens Shade Tree Commission. We have our 3 of 4 to make a quorum. So we're looking good there. And then we've got the disposition of the minutes. Did you guys look at those?
Yes.
Okay. Painstakingly had to listen to myself talk, and I will try to stop saying as much in these meetings. We'll see how that goes tonight. That's my goal. So, do we have a motion to accept those?
I motion.
Motion, second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Approved. Okay, so not a lot on the agenda tonight. Hoping to get out of here relatively quickly. So all we have is new business. So first thing that I would like to bring up, something that was kind of in my head here for a little bit as we were going through the year. Hopefully we have a little bit of time to stop and think about some future planting or future works now that we've got all the plantings and all this stuff out of the way. I would like to see if we could put together a pruning workshop uptown. Specifically, I can probably think of about 3 different trees that just here on Court Street and kind of the adjacent streets would be pretty small. We could do ground pruning, just reaching up and pruning out of the canopy, a couple of the trees. The hawthorns here in front of the parking garage in the city could use a little bit of love. There is a Kentucky coffee tree that has snapped and could probably get pruned off at some point.
Are these open to like the public joining or just?
Yeah, I would like to have it as sort of a work and educational thing. I don't think it'll be too much of a heavy lift. They're pretty small trees. It can be done with, just one. It could be one person to do the work, but it can be a good chance for us to, show pruning like fruit tree type stuff, with the hawthorns, get their hands on some of the city trees up here in town and get us thinking about it, get people looking at them as they walk down the streets afterwards. So thought that might be something interesting, so I will kind of look into that. Typically you do prunings pretty deep into winter, so maybe February, maybe early March, something like that. So something to get in our heads here, and I'll kind of bat it around as we go through the winter season and stuff. Other thing I have is these new code change ideas from Ann Bonner. So she had sent out some language from a couple different places. So had Gene. So some of the places we're looking at is Tacoma, Washington, has some interesting stuff. The city of Mason, Ohio, where Kings Island has some really, 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 really detailed tree regulation, stuff like that. I don't think we need to take it wholesale, but there's definitely some good stuff in there. Some stuff, in the back and forth with Andy Stone. Ann had mentioned, roughly a street tree should have about 1,000 square foot of soil access. So he was kind of interested in seeing if we could build in some of these different, quantities of, placement, stuff like that. So a lot to look into there. And that may be, with the current code change slate clear, it may open us up for bringing some of the stuff that, some more constructive stuff in front of City Council and seeing that we can get some code change through. Which brings us to the old business of the code change. So, for those who were kind of paying attention or not paying attention at all, the city had proposed a couple code changes that would affect the STC and planting restriction or requirements, a couple different things. So these kind of went back and forth throughout the year, and was brought up at 2 city councils ago, maybe. There was quite a few people there to speak in opposition to those changes, and the city is no longer pursuing those. So hopefully we can kind of regroup here and see what we liked out of this and what we didn't like, and see if we can, meet the city where they want, see if we can get some of the things that we would like added in there, see if we can kind of start this again constructively, and cooperatively rather than, kind of fighting back and forth on this. So that is gone. Then we also had kind of an exciting month here. We had our 2 tree plantings throughout the city. So we had one November 1st on Saturday. That was Voinovich, kind of really did all the heavy lifting on that. This is a continuation of their plantings along the kind of the riparian edge back there along the east side park. So they planted in a bunch of fruit trees, native nut trees, stuff like that, there along the bike path just behind Walmart. Went really well. Same with the planting on November 8th. So Joe, do you want to talk a little bit about that since you were STC in residence?
Yeah. We had 29 trees planted. We had about 30 to 35, maybe more volunteers. It was really cool. A bunch of OU students, a bunch of community members, and it was 55 minutes total. From the end of the demonstration to the last tree planted, it was 55 minutes. It was amazing. It was boom, boom, boom. And they were big trees.
The stuff we will be getting out of Menard's Tree Bank, I guess this was not so clear to me, but these are big trees. These are 2-inch caliper trees with big root balls on them. So it was good to see and hear, I guess, that we handled it so well. And big thanks to Joe and all of the other members that came out and helped plant.
I was nervous it was going to take 3 to 4 hours, but it was good. It was really, we had a bunch of age ranges. We had a 6, I think he was an 8-year-old, helping out, pushing the tree in, and then, so it was great. It was a lot of fun, and I think everyone was pleased, and hopefully they'll come back for next year.
Yeah. Then I went back over this week to kind of see how they're doing. They're big trees, and it's a very windy area, so there's a possibility we might have to stake some of them. They're getting caught a little bit in the wind, but they seem to be doing well. It was really windy the day I went out there, and they were, maybe a couple of them had blown over a degree or two, so wasn't anything severe. The next thing before we kind of, let them to grow is I would like to see if we can get them tubed with tree tubes. So I've kind of been talking to Kevin Skurlock in the Parks Department about if this kind of was not part of the planning of getting tree tubes for this. Neither was getting stakes, so we live and you learn. But so we will be working to get tree tubes and get those put on the trees, hoping that the deer don't scrape on them too bad this winter. Hopefully we've got a little bit of time before they really start tearing them up.
I think we got time. I think we can do it.
I think we've got a little bit of time. So talking to the Parks Department, it sounds like they have some of that corrugated, black plastic piping that they're able to drop off, and then we can just cut a slit in it and then throw them over the tree base. So hopefully we can get that figured out, but that's still that was just kind of heard that from Kevin yesterday, so we'll see where we can get that next week. And that's all we got. Quick, huh? You guys have anything?
Anything from the audience?
Anything from the audience? Not a big crowd this month. But yeah, that's all we've got. So before we adjourn here, our next meeting, December 11th, I think we are probably okay to not have that meeting, barring any supernatural events or something. I don't think anything really comes up much during December. So Are you guys all in favor of skipping that next meeting?
Motion.
Yeah.
Motion, second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I don't know that we needed a motion for it, but that's,
You can never be sorry.
never,
Yeah.
better safe than
Doesn't
sorry.
hurt.
So, we will go ahead and regroup back in January. Whatever the second Thursday of January. Which, another good point. Talked to Andy Stone as we were coming in, kind of two ships in the night caught each other there at the door. And so he was interested in seeing if we could reschedule these to the day that the Planning Commission meets, which would be Wednesdays. I believe they meet the 1st and the 3rd, so I think we will probably be looking at rescheduling these to the same time, but the 3rd Wednesdays.
That would be the 21st
21st,
if
yeah.
we do that.
That would be
January
January.
21st.
Okay, January 21st. So we will get that rescheduled and hopefully up on the website and out to the local news sources that always put us on their little event calendar.
Yeah, we'll need to run it by Gene first, though.
Yeah, we will need to check this with
And Michael Wood.
the other members of the commission. And before we get out of here, I do want to say, our thoughts and our well wishes are with Gene. He had a work accident and has been kind of laid up. That's why he's not here today. So, lots of love and support from us to Gene. We're really hoping he gets better soon. So, thanks for all your hard work, and hopefully you feel a little bit better. It's tough to be, as an arborist, self-employed when you're on your butt like that. It's tough stuff. So, lots of love and support to Gene. But that's all we got. Motion to adjourn.
Supposed to adjourn.
Motion. Second.
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. See you guys.